Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is the Hammered Airsoft Smith. Good morning. Alright, so over the years I've had this magazine that used to be all black. It's WE single stack M1911 A1 magazine. Holds 15 plus 1 rounds or 14 plus 1 rounds, whatever. I never put that capacity anyway. It's usually 7 plus 1 or whatever, but any hoosers. This was like a Gen 2 magazine, and for some reason when it was brand new, it was hardly ever used because it wouldn't fit right in the guns that it was made for. And I could never figure out why, and over time I would just sand off little sections in hopes that maybe it would fit in there better. And no, it never really did. The only time it ever really fit in there right is if there was no propellant inside, no gas. And that just led me to believe that maybe there's something wrong with the molding to where the magazine would bulge. So I said, well, you know, the parts are perfectly fine within the magazine, and it's not being used. And then I had an old magazine, the original magazine that came with this original WE 1911. And I figured, well, why not take the new parts from this magazine and put them into the old magazine, so that way I have an old magazine that's working again, that functions exactly the way it should. And it's the original magazine for the original gun, so why not? So I did. And these internals are all the original pieces to the original magazine, and this is just a chassis to the newer of the magazines. So here's the finished product. This is like a Gen 1 magazine from WE, and it was originally black, and then over time, I think I've discussed in other videos that a friend messed up the paint on the gun, and I had him take all the paint off everything so it would all match and it would all be stainless looking, but it ended up being corroded and blah 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 blah. Well, not really corroded, but just very dull looking, and sitting in the box all these years without it being used because it wasn't working right. It had this very dull look to it, so I ended up just going over it with a light Brillo pad, just to kind of give it a little more shine. And then I did I masked this off with some tape, and I used the Birchwood Casey's blackening to kind of give it a 1913, 1911 look for a magazine. I like to have the lanyard on the magazine, but it's tough to do due to where the fill valve is, so I would have to put the lanyard up more forward, and that's hard to do as it is unless I have like a drill kit or something like that. But I mean, I did it before with some glue, but you know, it's just glue and it falls off, and I don't really rely on glue too much. So there you have it. I just kind of wanted to give a little update on that. Taking something that doesn't work, take the parts from it, put it into something to make one thing work, so that way I have an original magazine working properly, and it's finally mated to the original pistol. So that's pretty awesome. Looks great. Pretty chuffed about that. The other one little thing that I've changed is that originally I had a steel garter slide stop for the MEU. It was a Tokiamori one, and I had, well, it's a garter, but it was for Tokiamori, and I had hand fitted it to this pistol. And as the years go by, and the more I wanted this pistol to look more historically accurate, I was like, well, why in the world would you have a flat pin in like an MEU style serrated slide stop on there? So I took a WE standard checker A1 and just installed this instead. It's not an original part, but it has the original look, and that's what I'm going for. So there you have it, guys. Thanks for watching. Just a little update on that. Refinishing a magazine. And see you guys around. Have a good day.